Hey out there, buddy fighters! This is The Keep, Lucksack.com, coming to you to bring you a box opening of the new Darkness Fable BT04 for Buddyfight. This one was just released today, as it is the 10th of October. And lots of new stuff coming out here. Of course, some more Dragon support for all you people who don't think Dragon needs enough support. But in addition to that, we have the introduction of two new worlds. We have the Darkness world and the Legend world, I believe. Darkness Dragon world, I think, is supposed to be a really popular one this time around, as the art style for it is amazing. I'm looking at a bunch of different styles of techniques. When we did the sneak peeks, a lot of good pulls and a lot of interesting techniques that came out, a lot of powerful cards. So just to give you a little tour of this one here. Oh, and by the way, this is one of the mats that came with your cases. If you had bought a case or something like that, you would get some of these mats here. Very beautifully done. They use an interesting new life counter system over here. So instead of using that little device where you count your life, you can actually use little tokens. And I think that was pretty innovative, built right into the mat. So very, very good. Unlike the Vanguard mats, though, the artwork for the centerpiece, which is beautiful, by the way, I mean, it's amazing, probably on the level of Vanguard, I would say. Unlike the Vanguard mat, so the image itself doesn't take up the entire mat, and it really leaves a lot of empty space over here. And maybe I just need to play with this a little bit to feel that out, but I think it would have been really a lot better if they used the mat as their canvas. But hey, you know, I mean, for the first mat to come out of a case, it looks pretty awesome, and what a way to go. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and use my blade to cut this open. Now, of course, in great Bushiroad tradition, they always come with like interesting box toppers, or at least all of the Buddyfight boxes have, whether it be a special promo or a counter or something like that. So I'm really looking forward to this. Oh, and just to give you a breakout over here as far as what we've got one Buddy Rare. Haven't seen what type it is yet. SP, there's 12 type of SPs, 8 types of triple rares, 12 types of double rares, 24 regular rares, uncommons, 30 uncommons, 30 commons, plus there's the foil versions of those commons and uncommons as well. So let's go ahead and try this out. Open it up and see what we get. Alright, so here, see what we got as far as prizes. Oh, here we go. Alright, so this is the flag for the Darkness world. Comes with this, so yeah, you'd get that automatic. So if you didn't get your trial decks that were released at the same time, you can always get the flag if you buy a box. Chances are you won't get enough in here to create a complete like sub-clan world type deck, whether it be the Darkness Dragon or the Demon type. And that's what the decks are for, to give you that boost. But within 2 boxes, you'll definitely get enough to be effective for that. You also get a life counter. I believe there's this one, and there's also the one for the Legend world, where it has the chalice. But this is really cool because it uses the exact idea that we're close to it. I mean, it's not the actual flag, which is what Paulo of our videos normally uses, but it uses the black dragon shield thing. So, all right, let's see what we got. 30 packs. Set that box to the side. There we go, and let us begin. Now, I'm not sure what exactly I'm looking for in here. Darkness Dragon seems to be all the rage. If that's the case, I might want to just go Legacy. Let's see what we got here. So it'll give you a good view. And I'm working with the lights here, guys, so just bear with me. So Death Ruler Soulbreaker. It's Death Deep Darkness Dragon World. So Death style, alright. Here's, yeah, if you haven't already, more dragon support. Armor Knight, or Armor Dragons. Center Sword Dragon. If this card is in the center, it gets +2/+2 on the side, so it's a 3/1/4. So that's interesting. A tarot card, Actor Knight's Devil. Okay. More of that. Jackknife Gift. Pay 1 gauge if you do use this. I'm like, man, that's a lot of abilities. I'm not a Jackknife fan. I'm sorry. And then ooh, for our rare, the first Legend World, Divine Protection, Pridewin. Okay. If you would be dealt damage, you may pay 2 gauge. If you do, the damage reduced by 2. Pay 2 gauge, that's pretty heavy. Equip this item from your hand. Okay, so it's equipment change. Interesting, so you can equip this item as it is an item. It's a 0/0, and so it stays on there, so you can always pay 2 gauge to negate any type of penetrate effects. Okay, interesting. I'd really be wondering what the gauge builders for Legend World is going to be. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Darkstalker Dragon. Berserk God. G-A-R-D. Guard. Berserk Guard. It's basically it's the +2/+2 counterattack. So, oh, and if there is a symbol guard in your drop zone, which is, I guess, a different card, you may discard a card from your hand and pay 2 gauge. If you do, return this card back to your hand. Oh, wow. So you can actually use a return. Oh, here we go. Interesting. I'm going to leave my rares over here so I can take a look at those later. Put that there. It's a common foil, but it looks really nice. Divine Armor Aegis. Equip, pay 1 cost. So it's an item. Damage that would be dealt to you other than from an attack is reduced by 1. So we're talking penetrate effects, any effects by magic, I guess even impacts. If it's not a normal attack, it's reduced by 1. Interesting, interesting, interesting. That's a really nice foil. I have a feeling that one's going to be effective. That one's going to be nice. Okay, Walidrock. This is a Wydar Sarkle. That's the subclan, Wydar Circle, I guess. Wywildock. You may only call this card if your buddy monster is Wydar Circle. So this is very specific to that subclan. Alright, and another rare. This is the Bloody Moon Dragon. Spectral Strike. When an attack by this card destroys your opponent's monster, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Wow, so you don't even have to attack the opponent directly. But see how this might be an effect. This would counteract that. So there's a balance. Interesting. Alright, let's move on. Looking for some heavy ones. Oh, I already see a sparkle. So we're going to work our way to that point. You know what? I'm going to put all my garbage up here. I just don't want it down there. Okay, so here we go. This is one of the items that they have for the Darkness Dragon world. Demonic Talon Vampire Claw. Shadow Dive. This card can attack your opponent even if there is a monster in your opponent's center. It's only a 1, but I don't know if there's any way to bump the crits, but that's interesting. So it goes over. That there. Power of Mythology. So I guess that's the theme over here for Legend World, is kind of the mythology bit. Pay 2 gauge. Choose 1 of the 3 following. Oh, jeez, got all these ones. All right, we'll look at that later. All right, and there's another Divine Armor. Nice. Oh, you know what? I'll just put that over here. Even though it's an amazing weapon. It's an amazing weapon. And then Corpse Swallower Hravsvgirl. I can't pronounce it. That doesn't even look like it's spelled right. But 5/1/6. No cost. When this card enters the field, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. Okay, so it's a kind of Miller. Ooh, wow. Okay, so that's shiny. What is this one? Demon Wolf Fenrir. Pay 5 gauge. Ouch. 10/6/7. Wow. 10/6/7. Triple rare. Let's see. This card on the field is not affected by the effects of Gleipnir and can attack. Alright, so it looks like a combo card, but with a 10/6/7. Ouch. That sounds like it'll hurt. So that's our first super big one. Nice, nice. I think I got one of those during my sneak peek, so if I kind of combine those, that might actually be some heavy damage. I have a feeling this is going to be more of a Legend World box, you know? I don't know. I'm looking for more Dragon, Darkness Dragon. So Enchant Wand Dragon. Black Dragon Shield. This is what you saw over here. This is basically your, you know, get out there, I guess, what is it? The counter. Damage is reduced to 0 and you gain 1 life. You may only cast this card if you be dealt damage and if you do not have a monster in the center. So it's basically your green Dragon Shield. So that's pretty awesome. Alright, Iron Dragon Taresk. And it looks like a tiger, not a dragon. But yeah, pay 1 gets 7/2/6. Wow, some big numbers here. Death Ruler Cremation. This is a Death Deep Fire. Shadow Dive. This card can attack your opponent even if there's a monster in your opponent's center. It's 5/1/2, so this one goes over your opponent's monsters again. 5/1/2. It can attack your monsters pretty heavily too. 0 cost. Nice. And then this one here is our rare. This one, Abyss Symphony. You may only cast this card if you have 6 life or less. Pay 1 gauge. Draw 2 cards. You may only cast Abyss Symphony once per turn. So this is basically your survival chance for darkness or for Darkness Dragons. Cool. All right. Let's see what we got here? I want to hurry up and speed through this bit. I know I can talk, but like I haven't really built any strategies on here. Sorry about that. Forbidden Edge Dragon. There we go. Actronite Devil. I think that's our second one there. Forbidden Edge Dragon foil version this time. Nice. I'll keep that to the side. Dragonic Force Field. That's the very, it's very screen cap episode 1-ish kind of thing. For this turn, the monsters on your left and right cannot be destroyed. Interesting. That is, and it's a counter. Pay 2 gauge. And then here we go. Armored Dragon. It's Armored Dragon Quelibre. Except it's not an Armored Dragon. It's a Widlar Sarkle. Penetrate Soul Guard 7/2/5. This card cannot be called to the center. Pay 2 gauge and put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. So that's pretty beefy. That's an interesting hammer. 7/2/5. And can't be in the middle. So is there a way to move him with a 5? Be a nice wall. Okay, Enchanted Wand Dragon. See what we got. There we go again. Man, if I can get 4 of these in just one box, that'd be so good. I could just mix these with my trial deck, and man, that in itself would give it some incredible defensive boost. Getter's Cursed Dragon, 0 cost 3/2/3. Yeah, Shield of Achilles. You can only cast this card when you would be dealt damage counter. That damage is reduced by 2. Okay, so it's like an it's a no cost anti-penetrator. And then this is Colossal Sea Monster Cetus. And it's a colossal monster. Pay 2 gauge, penetrate, and it's an 8/4/6. Wow, 2 gauge, 8/4/6. That's pretty dangerous. It's a monster size 3 though, so yeah, it's not really with the tricks. It's basically that last push if you just want to hit for hammer. Okay. Forbidden Edge Dragon, that's the 3rd one in this box. Heroic Spirit. Heroic Spirit. This is choose a hero monster, +3/+3 counterattack. If this card is still on after the fact, choose a monster that attacks. It's counterattack. Description. Interesting. Ah, yeah. See this chalice right here, the Holy Grail. This one is on the counter for the legend. So interesting. You may only cast this card and nullify the attack. So it's a nullifier if you have no monster in the middle. And then here we go. Nice. Knight of the Round Table, Gawain. Some people during the sneak peek said that this looked like Zack from Final Fantasy VII, and they are absolutely correct. That does look like Zack, straight up. It's awesome though. 4/2/1. When this card link attacks with another hero for this turn, this card gets penetrate with a 2. Nice. And then we have our first double R. Jackknife Burn Energy. Sick artwork on that one. Nice. This card cannot be called to the center. Put this card on top of a monster on your field with Jackknife in its name. When this card enters the field, put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your gauge. And it says Soul Guard, so 6/2/6. Nice. Okay, so we'll put that there. Interesting roll so far. No special Darkness Dragon stuff. Kind of disappointing. Fortune Shield, and this is a Tarot defense. Choose a monster in the battle, and for this battle, give it +2 and counterattack. Defense 2 and counterattack. Interesting. It's no cost too, so if you just need some extra defense or something like that, you can pop those in there that have high attack, no counterattack, and maybe a mid-range defense. That'd be a good one. Right Sword, we saw the center. Right Sword Dragon, and it's a 1 too. It's a 3/2/1. If this card is on the right, it's big as 3 +2/+2. Nice. Divine Stallion Pegasus. Alright, it's a 2/2/4, so it's your wall, Olympus, and Widar Sarkle. Dark Energy, you may only cast this card if you have 1 or more monsters in your field will be destroyed. Pay 1 gauge, choose one of those monsters, nullify its destruction, and for this turn that card gets counterattack. So that'd be an interesting one. I like that. Always good to have these defense cards. So put that to the side, and then we get basically Gargantual Punisher's weapon. As a weapon, 7/3. Pay 2 gauge and discard 2 cards from your hand. When you equip this card, you gain 3 life. And it's a Gargantua Blade Black Smasher. 7/3. Nice. That is awesome. I want the foil version of that one. That one would look sick. Okay. I mean, I'm not a big Dragon World fan again, because they get everything. Makes me feel all jealous inside. Okay, so we read Death Ruler. Atihima looks This is definitely not a kid's game, guys. This is crazy. That is just ridiculously hot. That's awesome. All right. Left Sword Dragon. So I got the whole field, all of them 1s, 3, 2, 1. If this card is on the left, it gets powered +2/+2. Power defense +2/+2. Gorgon Three Sisters, Sitheno, and that is creepy, but awesome. 3/1/6. It's your wall. Pretty cool. Spike Shoulder Blazing. Jeez, man, they really did a good job with the artwork this time. 5/3/1. You may only call this card if you have a card with Spike Shoulder in its card name in your drop zone. Pay 1 gauge, penetrate. That's pretty intense. I like that. Maybe I want to do that one. I'll do a. I'm a Spike Brother fan myself, so I'll do a Spike Shoulder. I'll do a Spike Shoulder deck. You know, an Armor Dragon Green Shield Spike Shoulder deck. And then we have Dragon Knight Napoleon. This is another double rare. Again with the Dragon World. What is this? Okay, this card cannot be called to the center. Pay 3 gauge. When this card enters the field, you may call a size 2 dragon from your drop zone by paying its call cost. That card becomes a size 0 monster as long as Dragon Knight Napoleon is on the field. Wow, so this one actually calls a size 2 from your drop onto your field and turns it to a size 0. So it'll still have all its effects, all its abilities. It will be affected by magic spells that say, you know, remove, you know, monster with size 1 or less. But still, to have this out there and to have a size 2, have the power of a size 2 right next to it, that is awesome. That is some intense stuff. So that's a Dragon Knight build. That's pretty intense. Sounds broken. Makes me want to dig into my my stable of spells that kind of counteract sizes now. So intense. Okay, so let's go on. Black Dragon Needle Fang 3/1/6. Thunder Knights Palash Sword Dragon. If there's a card with Thunder Knights in its card name on your field, you may call this card without paying its call cost. Pay 1 gauge. So if you already have a Thunder Knight out there, just put it down to 6/1/4. That's pretty beefy. Glefnir. We were talking about this one. This is I believe it's this one right here. Again, this one. This card on the field is not affected by the effects of Glefnir and can attack. So what is this spell? It's a set, right? It says put a size 3 monster from your drop zone into this card's soul. If this card would be destroyed, you may call monsters from this card's soul without paying their call cost. For this turn, those monsters cannot attack. So in this case, this card on the field is not affected by the effects of Glefnir. And Glefnir, if this card would be destroyed, okay, you may call monsters from this card's soul. If this card would be destroyed. Okay, well, I don't know why they want to destroy the spell set card. That's kind of confusing to me. I'll have to look into that. Lunatic, pay 1 gauge. Put a card from your opponent's gauge into his or her own drop zone. Then, if you have 2 or more Black Dragon on your field, your opponent chooses a card from his or her own hand and discards it. Wow, very, very Nubatama on that. That's awesome. I dig. Spring Healed Jack. This is the rare 5/1/2. Mischief Fantastic. When an attack by this card destroys your opponent's monster, put the top card of your deck into the gauge. Wow, so when this destroys, gauge 1. Nice. Pretty cool. Alright, let's move on. There's the counter again. Nice. Gorgon Three Sister. Holy Grail again. Furious Unicorn. Well, that's a new one. I never heard it called that before. 4/1/3. Penetrate. Wow. And an impact. This one is Roaring Slash Gargantua Punisher. Okay, it's a rare. It's a very episodic kind of look. Again with that blade. You only cast this card if your opponent has 5 or less life, and neither you nor your opponent has a monster in the middle. Pay 5 gauge. Deal 5 damage to your opponent. Jeez. This card cannot be nullified, and the damage cannot be reduced. Well, I guess that takes away from that weapon over here that I was talking about. But man, oh man, if 5 or less life, deal 5 damage now after 5 gauge. Ooh, I have a feeling, yeah, Thunder Knights will abuse that one pretty badly if they build gauge. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's a rare. Let me put that over here. see what else we got over here. Alright, so Dragon Knight Musashi. Death Ruler Soul Breaker 615. Okay. When this card attacks a monster, put a card from the soul of your opponent's monster under attack into the drop zone. When this card attacks a monster, put a card from the soul of your opponent's monster under attack into the drop zone. So if it's, I guess, if it has 2 soul, if this attacks and it only has 5,000 defense, it not only loses 1, but this one will make it lose 2. So in 1 stroke, the guy will lose 2 soul. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Now I wonder though, the effects on that. When this card attacks a monster, so while it's attacking, you remove the soul. So if he has 1 soul, he removes the soul, then he'll actually wipe out the monster. So he would wipe out a monster with 1 soul in 1 swing. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, this is your counter, Heroic Spirit. Great spell, Fimblewinter. Set. When this card is set onto the field, put 2 cards from the top of your deck into this card's soul. At the beginning of your turn, put a card from the card's soul into the drop zone. When the number of cards in this card's soul becomes 0, draw a card. Interesting. And it doesn't say that you take the card out either. So when the number of cards in this card's soul becomes 0, draw a card. So for every turn, can you possibly draw a card? Because at the beginning of your turn, put a card from this card's soul into the drop zone. So if at the beginning of the turn there's no more, then it's already at 0. So technically it's reached 0 again. Interesting. So let's see how that works. And then we have another double rare. Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur. 4, 2, 5. So I guess, yeah, Legends not only mythology, but on regular Greek mythology, but also English kind of knights and chivalry. Let's see, Hero Knight, pay 1 gauge. When this card link attacks with another hero, put the top card from your deck into your gauge, and for this turn, this card gets Penetrate, so it gets a double effect. Very, very similar to like the Thunder Knights, I guess. So nice, all wrapped up in 1 card though. So, okay, let's move on. Come on, show me some shiny darkness. So, Center Sword Dragon, again. Darkness Stalker Dragon, big cobra looking thing. Gleipnir, again, probably need that. Death Ruler Burial. It's got like a skeleton version of Harley Quinn. But Shadow Dive, this card can attack your opponent even if there is a monster on your opponent's centers. And this one's a 2 crit. So this one would go over and hit you for 2. It's 1, 2, 1. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And then we have Great Spell Ragnarok, which I know some people were talking about. You may only cast this card if there is a Great Spell Fimblewinter without a soul on your field. And that Fimblewinter is what we were talking about. Pay 3 gauge and pay 2 life. Discard all cards from your hand and your opponent's hand. Nullify all abilities of monsters on the field and destroy all cards on the field. Disgusting. So this one basically just wipes everybody. And this doesn't even reset everybody. No hand, no field. So you're basically just building it. You're just down 2 life. So really you only do this if you still got some life and you're good to go. Wow. Risky. Alright. It does not get rid of spells, though. I notice this. Discard all cards from your hand and your opponent's hand. Nullify all abilities of monsters on the field. And destroy all cards on the field. That's interesting. So if you have other spells that fish things out, sort of like this guy, the Gleipnir. So if this card would be destroyed, you may call, well, you're not destroying that card, so I can't really say. I gotta figure out how to use that one. Destroy my own spells. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so Black Dragon Death Hang. Famous Sword Hrunting. That's a 1/3, pretty quick change. Let's see. When you would equip this card, you may return an item from your field onto your hand. You may only equip change once per turn. So if you wanted to switch weapons, this is what you would use for. Nice. And we got an uncommon foil here. The Death Shield. You may only cast this card when you are being attacked. Pay 1 gauge. Nullify the attack and destroy size 1 or less monster that attacked you on your opponent's field. So you would actually use this in conjunction with that other card that you saw that brings out that size 2 that turns into a size 0. This could definitely help out. I'll keep that. Black Dragon Fundula. 3, 2, 3. I like how easy it is to read the numbers here. It's not all like crappy font or anything. So that, thank you very much, Bushy Road. Pay 1 gauge and destroy this card on the field. If you do, destroy a size 2 or less monster on your opponent's field. Another kind of counter thing. That's nice. Okay, what is this one called? Great spell, Thunder of Zeus. Pay 3 gauge and discard 1 card from your hand and pay 1 life. That's a lot of given. Destroy all defense 4,000 or less monsters on your opponent's field and deal 2 damage to your opponent. So that's automatic 2 damage to your opponent plus destroying all 4,000. That's pretty interesting. Nice. A lot of heavy spell costs, a lot of heavy damage hitters in this deck. So, or in this series. Pretty interesting. 3, 2, 1. If this card is in your field, the monster is not affected by any effects of the Day of the Dragon. Vikings. Viking Sword Dragon. Knights of the Round Table, Percival. Okay, 5/3/3. No cost, monster size 2. The Wider Circle. Okay, everything is Wider Circle. And finally, you see the Wider Circle. Choose a Wider Circle monster in battle, and for this turn, give it +3/+3. And it's just a counter. So this is, yeah, here, Drago Energy. Knights of the Round Table, Gareth. Alright, it's a move. 3, 2, 1. Interesting. And then this one here, Twin Horned Knights, King of Knights, Alexander. Size 2. It's 5/2/6. Pay 1. If there are 2 or more cards with Alexander in its card name in your drop zone, this card gets double attack. So it's a 5/2/6, and it can get double attack if there's another Alexander out there. Interesting. I want to see the Alexander spams. That would be pretty cool. Okay, on to the second set here. Let's see what we got here. So what do we got so far? We've got 4. There's normally about 8 special cards in here. So let's hopefully we can get them pretty good. So Left Sword Dragon. I think we'll move pretty fast from here on out. Getter's Cursed Dragon. Colossal Sea Monster Cetus and Foil. Guillotine Cutter. Pay 1 gauge. Destroy an item or spell on your opponent's field. Interesting. Nice. I like that. And then we have here the Death Dragon, Death Gaze Dragon. It's so boss that it has Death and Dragon in its name twice. Death Dragon, Death Gaze Dragon. Beast. 6/1/1. Spectral Strike. When an attack by this card destroys your opponent's monsters, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Nice. So it's a 6/2, so it's gonna hurt. Alright. See what we got. Oh, I see something shiny already, just letting you know. Alright. Forbidden Edge Dragon, we've seen. Move that out of the way. Ah, that's my 3rd shield. Awesome. I don't have to fish through another box. Divine Stallion Pegasus. Waywell Drock. Oh, and the triple rare Super Armor Dragon, Gargantua Blade Dragon. Wow, that thing looks beastie. Alright, when this card enters the field, you may choose up to 2 weapons from your drop zone and put them into your hand. This is a pay 3 gauge. It's an 8/3/8. Punisher Blade. Discard a weapon from your hand. If you do, destroy a card on the field. So it's destroy any card on the field. So it could be your card, it could be a spell, it could be their card. So interesting. I'd like to see how that works. Yeah, this definitely is a dragon and a legend world loving box. Nothing for my dark dragons right now. So Viking Sword, Glefner, Iron Dragon, Tarask, Death Ruler, Pain, 9/2/2. Wow, it's a 9, no cost. Size 2 monster, 9/2/2. Oh, that is beastie. That hurts. Okay, we'll put you there, and then Arcana Flash. It's a rare generic. Pay 3 gauge. Reveal 5 cards from the top of your deck. For each monster with Actor Knights in the card name from among them, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Then put the revealed card on the bottom of your deck in any order. Wow. That sounds kind of insane. Maybe it'll add some extra leverage. I don't know. Maybe a trolley deck. I don't think I can actually seriously contend with that. That'd be so bad if generic decks started getting that competitive for some reason. But it'd be interesting. Death Ruler, Atithima. I can never say those right. The Wider Circle again. Berserk Guard, foil version. Nice. Furious Unicorn. And the rare Ice Blade Joka. 6/2/3, pay 3 gauge. When this card is discarded from hand, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, call this card from your drop zone without paying its call cost. So it's pay 3 gauge, but when this card is discarded from your hand, in some cases, we have cards that say discard 1 card from hand. So you drop that sucker, then you actually do this one, pay 1 gauge, pull this guy out, and he's a 6/2/3, size 0. Broken. That's exciting, actually. I have to work on my legend deck with that one. He's an Asgard water, so I'm going to use Asgard no wider circles for that one. Ugh, what a waste. Alright, so here we go. It's a left sword dragon. Okay, this is the Vampire Claw. Again with the weapon, the Divine Armor. Elixir of... what is it? Aesculapius? Aesculapius? That is pretty cool looking. Put the top card of your deck into your gauge and you gain 1 life. Okay, well it's not a counter or anything like that, but it just is plussing all over the place. Nice. And this is a Gorgon 3 Sisters Medusa. Everyone knows about that. Isn't it cool? I think Paulo mentioned that it's a harp, but it's a bow and arrow. Sickest thing. 5/1/5. When this card enters the field, you may discard a card with Gorgon in its card name from your hand. If you do, destroy all size 1 or less monsters on your opponent's field. Wow. Clean up. That's pretty good. Gorgon Sister deck. Can we do it? Can we do it? The Olympus Wider Circle. Okay. 5/3/3. Black Dragon Death Hang. Thunder Knights Palish Sword Dragon. Famous Sword Hunting. Or Hrunting. Frost Giant Hrimthur. Okay, that's very Thor of you. Norse mythology, right? And then, was it Brethren Guard? See, pay 2 gauge. This is the rare. Either nullify the spell cast by your opponent, or destroy a spell on the field. If you have Berserk Guard in your drop zone, you may discard a card from your hand, pay 2 gauge. If you do, return this card back to your hand. Interesting. So this could help destroy a card on your field. And you got those Glefners that can be destroyed. And it's a pay 2 gauge. I don't know, it's kind of heavy. Have to see how that works. Alright. See what we got here. Another with the weapon. I see something shiny. Divine Stallion Pegasus. The Wider Circle again. Dragonic Counter. You only cast this card if 1 or more armored dragon monsters on your field is being attacked. Only cast this card if 1 or more. Okay. Return, cast call. Return 1 of those monsters to your hand and pay 2 gauge. Destroy a size 2 monster or less on your opponent's field. Wow, all sorts of counter. Nice. And then here we go. Finally, a Darkness Dragon World Black Dragon Mavel Taker. And this one's a Black Dragon version. Pay 3. And it's a Spectral Strike. When an attack by this card destroys your opponent's monster, deal 1 damage to your opponent. 7/8. So he's a beastie one. Nice. Not the most, doesn't have the most technical tricks behind it. Pretty muscle, but really nice. Looks extremely impressive artwork on that one. Let's move on. Right Sword Dragon, Knights of the Round Table, Percival. Divine Armor Knights, that's the 4th one. Rune Staff, that's the first time I've seen that one. Quit pay 1/0/0. You do not have to pay the life in cast cost of cards you use with Great Spell in its card name. Interesting. Rest this card. If you do, put the top card of your deck into the gauge. Okay, so this charges. Interesting. Okay, alright, and this is the double rare. King of the Forest, Zlatorog. Very Princess Mononoke with this one here. When this card enters the field, put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your gauge. It's a 3/2/3, size 2 monster. Nice. Lots of forest gods and stuff like that with the whole legend world. I like it. Death Ruler, again. Berserk Guard. Iron Dragon, Tarzan, Death Ruler, Execute. It's a 6/3/2, Death Trap, no cost. Nice. And the Scythe, Evil Death Scythe. Pay 1, Spectral Strike. So when it destroys your monster, deal 1 damage. It's a 4/2. So there's a lot of destroy your opponent's monster, deal 1 damage. So even if you do put monsters out there, if they destroy it, and then I wonder if you link attack, and you link attack with 2 items that have Spectral Strike in it. If you destroy one monster, you then deal 2 damage. That might actually be the same way, sort of like Penetrate. You know, if you have 2 items that do Penetrate, and they hit an item and it goes through, you add the Penetrates together. You might add those up too on a link attack. That'd be pretty cool. So Viking Sword Dragon, Black Dragon Needle Fang, Power of Mythology. Yes, it is Black Dragon Cold Blade. And I'm putting the Black Dragons in the wrong one there. And then this is Decree of Dullahan. Wow, that guy's headless. That's kind of creepy. You only cast this card if you have 6 life or less. Pay 3 gauge. For this turn, all wider circle monsters on your field get double attack. Wow, that's pretty intense. Nice. Very aggressive. Very aggressive these are. Oop, I see something shiny. See Center Sword Dragon, Darkstalker Dragon, Actor Knight's Devil. Seen that one already. Dragon Vanquishing Emperor Beowulf. Alright. Dragon Slayer. When this monster attacks a monster with... when this monster, hardly a monster, attacks a monster with dragon in its attributes, destroy that card. 3/2/3. And if it attacks anything with dragon in it, destroy it. That puts a lot of things to crap. That's interesting. That's awesome, actually. And then, double rare, Death Ruler Curse. Finally, another one over here. And if you notice, he's like our title guy right here, if you look on the mat. Whoa, Death Ruler Curse. Pay 3 gauge, Shadow Dive. This card can attack your opponent even if there's a monster in your opponent's center, and it's move 5/3/6. So he can move, he can shoot over everybody and hit you for 3. Then if there's a weapon, they can clear out the area or use something with Penetrate. Then at the beginning of the turn, you just move him in the middle, and he's a 6, so he's pretty heavy. That's awesome. Glad I got that one. Woo, so I don't know, how many more do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, that's it. So I'm imagining that these next packs probably don't have any more shine, but maybe I can get some of the common or uncommon foils in here. That'd be pretty cool. So Dragon Knight Musashi, 3 Gorgon Sister Seteno, Holy Grail, Actor Knight Fortune. Okay, it's a 3/2/7 tarot. And that's a new one. It's holding a heart, and it's somewhat bleeding. Pay 1 gauge. Destroy a size 2 or less monster on the field. Death Grip. Nice. Beastie. Alright, get in there. Get in there. Death Ruler Soulbreaker. Knights of the Round Table Percival. Oh, wow. See, this is an uncommon. The foil is sick, because what it looks like is the horse itself is a different foil than the actual equipment on it in the background, so it has a really nice effect. They put some quality into that one. Shield of Achilles, and Immortal Sword Durandal. It's a 6/1. This card cannot be destroyed by effects from your opponent's cards. Wow, and it's a 6/1. This card can be your buddy. Huh. So this can be your buddy. That is weird. Equip change. Nice. That is interesting. I only got 1 out of this box, so man, good luck finding 4 more copies of that thing. Jeez. Alright, so Enchant Wand Dragon, Fortune Shield, Berserk Guard, Death Shield. Oh, I didn't get my black shield over here, but I got Death Shield again. And what are you doing over there, man? Get over here. And then this one is a Golden Blade Chrysaor. Nice looking. If you have 3 or more cards with Gorgon in its name in your drop zone, this card gets Penetrate, and it is a 5/3/1 with 2. So part of your Gorgon build. Nice. And the final pack. Thunder Knight's Palish Sword Dragon, Black Dragon Death Hang, Getter's Cursed Dragon, Destroy Hammer Dragon, and Jackknife Jaeger. Nice. Alright. Pay 1 gauge and put this card on top of a monster on the field with Jackknife in its card name. Snipe. When this card attacks, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent, in addition to actually attacking. So you can do 4 damage if you get a direct attack, and it's a 6/2/6. Nice. Well, there you have it, folks. This is what it's all about. box opening of BT04 for Lucksack. And if you haven't already, check out lucksack.com and the deal that we have going on this month with our subscription. $16 plus shipping and handling. You will be getting, with Buddyfight, 5 packs of Buddyfight. You get 60 card sleeves for this size for this game, so it's the large or standard size. You'll get a deck box of the same color as the sleeves. You'll get a card box that'll be all shipped in that you can also use as storage for cards. And then we're going to have some lucky winners out there win one or more of these cards, depending on how many that we have subscribing. For every 5 subscribers I get, I'll throw in one of these special cards randomly, and you'll know if you win when you get it and you open it up. And then one lucky winner will actually get the mat. So I am including all these special bonus things for your Buddyfight fans out there who want to sign up for today's or for this month's Lucksack subscription service. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any more questions or anything, leave the comments below. And if you have any more questions about Lucksack and a subscription, you can always visit the website www.lucksack.com. Subscribe to the newsletter, and yeah, stay in touch, guys. Thank you very much. Take care.